Guys, thank you so much for watching Angelo Christian Financial. We have Real Estate Insider, a very special guest and a friend of mine, Mr. Rondi Lambeth with Fortress. He's here on our show today talking about his credit repair, his service, everything that he offers is phenomenal. I have a ton of my clients that have signed up with Fortress. And Ronnie's going to talk about all the hacks, how his company is different, what he does to separate himself from all the other credit repair companies out there, and why you got to talk to Rondi Lambeth, the credit expert. So, Rondi, thank you so much for coming on the show today. I love your shirt, man. Fortress University, buddy.
There it is, man. That's what it's about, is educate, not just fixing people's credit.
Yeah.
But we found we got to educate them. Otherwise, they come back, and I don't like repeat customers.
Right, right. So talk to me, brother. Tell me, what's going on? How are you?
I'm great. Yeah, I'm doing really well.
Yeah.
I decided to take the next couple weeks off. This whole COVID thing, man, I've had I think I've had 3 days off since COVID hit. And we're up almost 400% with our credit repair business, and then 1,000% on the financial services side, which is the education side. Mm-hmm. And so I decided I'm going to take the next 2 weeks off to simply work on my business instead of working in my business.
Yeah.
And so it's great. I've been slammed with work, and life is good, and I'm blessed. And
you look leaner. You look more trim, man. You looking good, dude.
I put on the COVID-19 and I'm down about 10. So I got a little bit more to go.
Yeah. It's looking good, man. So cool. Well, thank you so much. I mean, so, obviously, we're a nationwide mortgage lender, and I'd say we get about 25,000 applications a year at our company, and about, 30% of those people, they don't qualify because of their credit. Another lender has denied them. They don't know what to do. And, I think one of the greatest things that's happened to our company is we've crossed paths with Fortress, and they have a solution now. So I want the world to know, to educate our followers, your followers, to remind them. Tell us about Fortress. What is Fortress?
Yeah, Fortress is my company. I founded it 13 years ago. And the reason I founded it was, at the time, I was a firefighter. So I was a fireman for Littleton, Colorado, career firefighter. And my little brother, who was also a firefighter in Oregon. Now, I'm the oldest of 13 kids. I grew up extremely poor, not far from my home here, in a shack that this will blow your mind. The shack that I lived in with 13 kids and my parents was smaller than my master bedroom.
Wow.
And I grew up with no running water, no electricity. We got our food out of the dumpsters every Wednesday. We would go to the grocery store in town, raid the dumpster, get our food, and that's what we ate. And so I grew up extremely poor. And I was taught money was the root of all evil, education's bad, the government's bad, all this stuff. There's this crazy extreme view. And at 15, after getting beat up almost every day, I decided, I've had enough of this. And I left home at 15. And I went out on my entrepreneur journey and eventually become a firefighter. And fast forward 13 years ago, I started Fortress. And the reason I started it was my little brother, who was also a firefighter, unbeknownst to me, was having financial problems like millions of Americans. He had credit issues like millions of Americans. He had medical bills like millions of Americans. And he didn't feel like there's a way out and that his life was doomed. And he was 22 years old. Mm-hmm. So, I don't think his brain was quite developed. I think it doesn't develop on men until they're 25. But regardless, he ended up taking his life.
Oh, my God.
And he shot and killed himself over less money that he owed than I have in my pocket right now. And so that really hit me pretty hard, because here I am, firefighter of the year on the busiest rescue in Denver metro area, saving lives every day. And I don't even know my little brother is suffering. And so I took a lot of guilt, and I still have a lot of guilt because I'm the oldest of all the kids, and I left when I was 15. And I struggle with that. I know I probably shouldn't. I mean, I was a kid, but I still have it. Mm-hmm. And so I've always had this burning desire to help people. And so after Zeke had killed himself, I went on this mission to figure out what's going on with finances. Where are people at? Why are people so emotionally attached to this credit score and why can't they get help? And what I found was there wasn't any good companies out there. All of the companies out there that I found charge a monthly fee, charge a setup fee, and you pay them regardless of results. And then I come across a company outside Dallas, Texas, called Rising Point. One was called Rising Point. One was called Point Gain. And I come across them, and I ended up hiring them in 2005 to fix my credit.
Okay.
And I paid them like $4,000 for me, $3,000 or $4,000 for my wife at the time. So it was like $8,000. And guess what they did? Absolutely nothing. I mean, they deleted a couple things. I'm not going to say it was easy stuff, but they deleted some stuff, but they took $8,000 from me. And what I found out later was, one, that's illegal. It is legal in Texas and Florida, but it is illegal federally. So it's kind of like the marijuana bill. It's legal in Oregon to smoke marijuana, but not in Idaho where I live. And I don't think it's legal in Texas either. And even in Oregon, California, Washington, it's still federally illegal. So that's how they get around it, is the state says it's okay. And so they took my money and they didn't really do anything. So then I started digging a little bit further and found these companies like Lexington Law, Sky Blue, Ovation, the Credit Pros, all these other companies. They want $100 a month roughly, and you pay them regardless of results.
Right.
So whether they get anything deleted or not, you are paying them to try to fix your credit. You are giving them a trophy, a participation trophy for participating in your credit repair. That'd be like you, Angelo, me hiring you to get me a mortgage. Off air, we were talking about I'm buying a house next year. Can you imagine the reaction if you went to your customers and say, hey, man, I'm the best at it. I'm the best in the nation at getting people qualified for homes. But here's the deal. You got to pay me $100 a month until I'm successful. And there's no guarantee I'll ever get you the mortgage.
Yeah.
And so I looked at that and I'm like, this is backwards. And at the time I owned a real estate company as well. So I was a firefighter and I owned a real estate company. I had 26 agents to work for me, and we all worked on commission, paid on performance.
Yeah.
When I took a listing, I didn't get any money until I sold the house, right?
Right.
Didn't matter how much money I spent, how long I worked on that listing, how many hours I spent in the car with buyers with kids that puked in my cars and poopy diapers, right? I still didn't get paid until I was successful.
Right.
So I decided, how about I change the industry? I'm going to flip it upside down. I'm going to fix people's credit first, bill them later. Everybody I knew said it's never going to work. The reason it won't work is 100% of your customers don't pay their bills, which is why they're hiring you in the first place. I said, I'm going to take the chance. Worst case scenario, I'm going to fix this person's credit, and then they don't pay me. That's worst case scenario. Best case scenario, I fix their credit. I change their family tree. I impact their life. They get to move into a home. They get a better mortgage with you, and it changes their entire life. And if they don't pay me, hey, that's on them, not on me. So that's what I did. And since then, we are the most successful paid-on performance credit repair company in America. We're in the top 10 most successful credit repair companies, period. And we've since applying, I've hit the Inc. 5000 list 3 years in a row, and I probably would have done it the last 10 years in a row if I'd applied. I just never did it. So that's a little about us. But essentially what we do is we fix your credit first, we bill you later. Wow. And then now we actually have a bank that finances our customers. Not only do they finance them, but they report it to all three credit bureaus.
Oh, wow.
So what a lot of people have is that lack of installment loans, thin credit files.
Right.
So now we have a bank that will report the installment loan, and we have 5 different banks that will give them credit cards no matter what. And so now we can take someone from a 400 credit score to a 700 credit score in about 6 months.
Wow.
So that's a little bit about Fortress.
Well, that's awesome, man. That is so different than the status quo. I mean, a lot of people that call us there with like Lexington Law, and they've been bleeding them for a year or two, and they still have a 500 credit score. They call us for a loan. And it blows my mind, man. Lexington got them for $2 or $3 grand, kind of like your story. And, nothing's happened. And that's amazing. That is so, innovative that you came up with the idea of performance first. You use that in the real estate industry and you applied it to the credit industry, and it's helped to really blow up and expand your business.
Yeah. People have tried to copy me. They see me in my own, I have a private plane. They see me in the Ferrari and the houses and all that stuff. And I don't say that to brag. They just, if you follow me on social media, you're going to see that. And I use those as tools to help people realize that it doesn't matter where they started. I spent a lot of time at the boys club and coaching these kids that grew up in foster care and stuff. And so I use my possessions to really encourage people.
Right.
But they see that and they're like, oh, I want to get in credit repair. I'm going to switch to his model. And here's what happens, man. You got to go 2 years without making a single penny.
Yeah.
2 years. And so they make it about 6 months and they go right back to the monthly model because their heart is not in it. They're really not doing it to help people. They're doing it to make a quick buck.
Right.
And they're not around very long. We've been around 13 years.
Right.
We'll be around for another 13 years unless the government changes. But I don't think it's going to change. Fair Credit Report Act's been around exactly 50 years. And it's not going to go anywhere. And, we're here to help people, which is why I started Fortress University, which is which is the education side of the credit repair. So not only do we fix your credit, but then we educate you on how money really works, how to use your credit.
Yeah. Can you talk on, because I didn't even aware that you had this financial education. Can you talk to everyone about that, please?
Yeah. According to Forbes magazine, this number probably won't shock you, but according to Forbes magazine, 96% of Americans, that's over 300 million Americans, don't understand the basics of finance. They don't understand how compound interest works. They don't understand how fractional reserve banking works. They don't know what the rule of 72 is. They don't know why or how they're taxed. They don't understand how it costs as much as 9.5% a year, 9.5% a year to participate in a 401k. So if you're putting $1,000 a month into your 401k, you immediately lose $95 because that's what it costs to participate. They don't understand this. So what we do is we teach and educate our clients the basics of finance. And I say it's the basics, those things I just went over. And then the basics of how to manage their credit, how many credit cards to have, how much to spend on the credit card, what type of credit card, why you should never pay off a car loan. I know you've seen this. I looked at I can't say his name right now. He is extremely popular on Instagram right now and Fox News. He'll be on Fox News on September 12th. But I was looking at his credit and he had a very low credit score. You know why? In the last 18 months, he's bought 6 cars. And then he kept each car for about 3 months, and then he paid off the loan when he traded it in. And I told him, I'm like, dude, you got to stop buying damn cars. It's destroying your credit. He's like, I pay off the loan. It should count. I'm like, no, it doesn't.
Wow.
It's like your wife having a miscarriage every 3 months. You need to go full term.
Yeah.
And so his credit was crap, and he can't qualify for a mortgage because he constantly is buying cars. And so we teach why never to pay off a loan, how to get a car under your business name. All of that stuff is inside Fortress University, plus a whole lot more.
Wow, that's awesome. That's very strong. That's amazing that you offer that. So a lot of my customers that we've referred over to you guys, we've gotten their credit up on and been able to get them pre-approved for a loan. So let me ask you, Rondi. So, on the back end, when you're working on somebody's credit, how you mentioned taking someone from a 400 to a 700. How is that like in the end? Because a lot of people say, well, you just have to settle and pay this stuff off. Is there any secret sauce to getting someone to a 700 credit score? What is it? Is there something that you guys do differently than anybody else? How that happens?
Yes, we do pretty much everything different than everybody else, including how we bill, right?
Okay.
We start with the billing side. We bill you after the fact.
Yeah.
But what we do differently is because we're paid on performance, we need to get results very quickly.
Right.
And the longer it takes me to get results, the less money as a company that I make.
That's
because
right.
I have more overhead, whether it's labor or stamps or letters or whatever, we have more overhead. The longer it takes, just like with you, the faster you can get someone through underwriting, the faster you get them qualified, the more money you make because there's less man hours. So we're the same way. So with that being said, we have to know what we're doing. We have to understand these laws.
Mm-hmm.
And unlike your Lexington Law type companies out there, their goal, because of their model, is to drag this out for 22 to 36 months. $100 a month for 2 to 3 years. Then at the end of 3 years, they turn on their sauce and they get everything fixed because they need their money up front. We try to fix everything immediately, and then you pay over the next 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
So example, I did a webinar for World Financial Group. They have about 75,000 agents, licensed financial planners. I did this last week, and I pulled up my credit report and I showed them one account, which was with General Motors. It had to do with a Corvette that I bought in 2012. One account had 11 mistakes in the way it's being reported.
Wow.
11 for one account.
Wow.
It was the wrong open date, the wrong balance, the wrong close date, the wrong payment date, the wrong account number.
Wow.
On and on. And now I was never late on this account, but I used it as an example, showing the 11 mistakes on an account that was positive, let alone negative. If it was a negative, I'd probably had another 9 to 10 more mistakes. So we can find 20 mistakes per account. On average, we will dispute 12 different items per account per bureau. So when your monthly models, they'll send one letter per account per bureau. So if your client's got 30 negative accounts, it will take 30 months to send it to one bureau. What we do is we'll send one letter per account, per bureau, per month with 12 disputes.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And because of this, the bureaus have no choice but to delete the item because we work with the bureaus. When I say we work with them, see, if they don't correct these items, the consumer has the right to sue the credit bureaus because they failed to do a proper investigation to remove the inaccurate accounts. Not whether or not they were late. I don't care if they were late. I care that it's inaccurate. Now, could I dispute the General Motors on my Corvette because it had 11 inaccuracies? Sure. Why would I do that though? Because it's going to damage my credit report because I'll lose an account that's been on there since 2012. So I just leave it alone. It's kind of like a wart on your hand. It just keeps coming back.
Yeah,
it's kind of annoying. Yeah, it's there, but it's hidden. It's pretty small. You could cut your hand off if you want, get rid of the wart, right? Or you can just deal with, or a freckle. I should use a freckle instead of a wart, but a freckle on your hand. It's going to be there. Just live with it. It's got some mistakes. Now, when it comes to negative accounts, sometimes it's better to get that account completely deleted. But what we do is we are trying to just get the mistakes corrected and the account to stay.
Okay.
And by getting the mistakes corrected, which includes the late payments. Mm-hmm. And so that's why we call it repaired. So we charge $125 if we delete the account. We charge $125 if we repair the account.
Okay.
Doesn't matter. If it's deleted, it's $125. If it's repaired, it's $125. Repair is if every single late payment and negative reference is removed. So it now goes to account in good standing.
Gotcha.
If they got 20 lates, Angelo, and we delete 19, we don't bill the client because it's not repaired.
Gotcha. Oh, wow.
So those are some of the things that we do differently with the repair process. And then we go into the education process to show the client, because payment history is only 35% of your score. Mm-hmm. That means 65% has to do with what the customer has to do, not us. Mm-hmm. But these other credit repair companies, they're focusing on that 35%. and ignoring the 65.
Right.
So when a client comes to me with a 500 credit score and in 90 days they're a 700 credit score, is because we teach them how to increase their score, not just by removing the late payments.
Right. Right. And then you also mentioned that because you also look at, if they have thin credit, you have access to these banks that will give them secure credit cards, lines of credit. Because a lot of times we see like just adding either an off user or a secure credit card, it pops their score 50, 60 points. You see a lot of these, people that have new credit, they're younger, millennials, and they don't have any revolving. And you quickly add a, $300 secure credit card and their score pops, 50, 60 points. We see this all the time. So that's awesome. So you guys basically take a look at that person's situation and say, okay, if this person needs lines of credit or trade lines, you can also help them with that too.
Yeah. So we look at it. That's the first thing. When you go through our onboarding process, my consultants are asking how many credit cards do you have? They'll look at their credit and they'll apply that on the onboarding call. That will then trigger a sequence inside of Infusionsoft, where if they have 3 credit cards or more, our clients will never get the credit card application sequence.
Yeah.
Because they already got 3 credit cards. But if they only got 2, they're going to get a email and text message for the entire time they're with us stating, hey, you only got 2 credit cards. You need to get 1 more, and here's where you can go. Now, for folks that have credit cards that or maybe overutilized or have a thin file, we do have access to over 15,000 credit cards that we can add them onto as an authorized user. And these are credit cards with an average of a $25,000 credit limit with less than a $500 balance.
Oh, wow.
And so, like I said, we have over 15,000 of these that we have access to. Someone comes to you and it's like, man, they got a 629 is because their credit cards are maxed out, but they don't have the money. We'll throw them on a couple of our cards. They'll bump to 760.
Yeah.
You get them the mortgage. 90 days later, we take them off the card.
Right. Wow.
And we do stuff like that as well.
Wow. I didn't know you guys did that. That's strong, man. It's really good. So do you ever think that, or do you ever see a time where like after you go through this process with somebody and they have to just settle stuff? I mean, is that a good idea for people just to settle things?
Yes and no. I mean, I am a proponent of paying your bills.
Yeah.
And so if someone asks me, should I pay my bills? I'm like, absolutely, you should pay it. Does that mean you should blindly pay the collection company? No. I'll give you an example. Recently, I had a client that she bought a Mercedes and she owed like $13,000 left on the Mercedes. And it has over 20 recalls. She can't even drive the car because there's recalls in there. The sunroof will fall on her. The gas tank will explode, all of this stuff. And she got in some financial trouble, so she got behind. So they sold it to Santander. Santander doesn't want the car. She doesn't want the car because all the recalls. Mercedes has said that they'll buy the car back from her once she deals with Santander. So she's like, what should I do? I said, call them up, offer them $3,000.
Okay.
I owe 13. I said, but offer them 3. Well, they took it for 3,500. It took a month. So when I say that you shouldn't just blindly pay it, the reason why is Santander doesn't have a legal right to that car. They bought it on a spreadsheet based on the fact that it showed as an auto loan. Here's the thing. It's not an auto loan. She bought it at a car dealership. 100% of vehicles purchased at a car dealership are retail installment contracts, not auto loans. Why is that important? Because retail installment contracts have less of an impact on your credit score than an auto loan. Why do they report it as an auto loan? Because it lowers your credit score. So the fact that they're reporting it as an auto loan violates the contract. So technically, she doesn't owe them a penny.
Wow.
I'll repeat that. 100% of cars bought at dealerships are retail installment contracts. So when a client comes to us and they got a repossession on their credit, instead of doing the Lexington law model and send a letter saying, I was never late, this is not mine, it's not fair, my dog ate this coupon, all these nonsense things that they do to drag it out for 2 to 3 years, we simply send a letter saying, hey, I noticed that you're reporting this as an auto loan. But in fact, it's a retail installment contract. Also reporting General Motors as the original creditor, but they weren't. It was Dennis Dill and GMC that was the original creditor.
Wow.
Please send me documentation proving this is an auto loan.
Wow.
They'll respond with, we verified this to be accurate. So we'll send a second letter. Third letter is from a law firm. Third letter, they sue them. So Santander paid last year, $118 million fine.
Oh, wow.
In California.
Wow.
For doing retail installment contracts without a license.
Jeez.
Because they were selling them as an auto loan, but they weren't. They're retail installment contracts. So those are some of the things that we do differently when we educate our clients, and we can show them how to increase their credit score by managing the credit cards and the loans and all that stuff.
Wow. That's awesome, man. No, I mean, everything that you're doing is right by the consumer. You're operating in such a great business. I mean, I love working with you guys. I mean, as soon as I connect with your team and have someone reach out, they're Johnny on the spot to call them, get them served. We've signed up, I think, probably in the last 2 months, 50 some people.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah,
I appreciate every one of them.
No, it's great. But everyone's telling me like, hey, these guys really, they call you back. They're trying sincerely to try to help to make a difference. Because that's the whole thing. Like, we don't get paid until they close on their loan, right? So we want to help them. And the way mortgages are, you have to have certain credit scores to qualify. Like for right now, after COVID, some of the mortgage requirements have changed. You have to have at least for like an FHA loan, a 640 credit score. And some people, like they make the income, they can support a $300,000 loan, but their credit score is 560, and they think they can't get a loan. They get denied by 3 or 4 lenders. Quicken's denied them. Loan Depot's denied them. They think that they can't get a loan. I tell them, look, I can help you. If you call Fortress, get your credit boosted up, I can get you pre-approved right away and get you closed on your house. You don't need to spend $3,000 a month on rent. You can own your home.
Yeah, and that's the thing I try to explain to folks in your industry is stop working with people that have low credit. And what I mean by stop working with them is stop trying to fix it yourself. Mm-hmm. Let me fix their credit.
Right.
You focus on getting them qualified, getting them through underwriting, send them to me, and let me deal with the credit side.
Right.
Because that way it frees you up to do what you're best at.
Yeah.
And if they don't follow up with us, then you're not wasting your time dealing with that person.
Yeah. I think though, one of the things the reason why I want to have this show with you today is, we get, like I said, about 2,000, 2,500 applications a month. And the biggest thing that people, they think that credit repair is bullshit. They think it's a scam. And I wanted to have this show with you today to put out there because I'm going to push this out to everyone. Say, look, this is a real man. Look at his story. Look at his company. Paid on performance. There's nobody that's going to do that for you guys. This is the credit repair company to go to in America. So if you need credit repair, you guys got to call Fortress. It's a no-brainer. If you ask me, who else is going to do that? No one else is going to do that for you. I mean, there's
not another company that charges after the fact. They all try, but they can't do it. They cannot sustain 2 years with no income.
Yeah. No, I love it, man. It's such I think that like you said, your heart is in the business. Of course, you have to make money. You're a for-profit corporation, but you set up your business with the right intentions to help people, and you have such a great story, such a great premise. Like I said, we've worked with so many other credit repair companies in the past, and now all of our clients are just going to Fortress.
Yeah. And we want to help people get into a home. And one of our things that we teach inside of Fortress University is how to take that 30-year mortgage that you put them in and you get them a great interest rate, but how they can take that 30-year mortgage and have it paid off in 7 to 10 years without changing their lifestyle.
Right.
Not having to live on beans and rice and beans and doing the Dave Ramsey thing and getting rid of their car and never going out to dinner and shutting off the electricity and turning down the heat in the winter. But by just changing how they manage their paycheck and what type of account the paycheck is deposited into and how they pay their bills, they can eliminate 70% of their interest by just changing that.
Yeah.
And so not only we're going to help them get qualified, but then we're going to show them how to eliminate the mortgage, which in turn brings you more business because now they got more equity.
Right.
and they can buy another house and a bigger house, and everybody wins from it.
Right. I love it. So do we have all of your information on Fortress University? And we got to get that on the YouTube links. I want to get everything on the Fortress University as well, because I think our customers would love that. So
yeah, with that, all the customers that you send to me, they automatically get that information.
Okay.
And a lot of it's on my personal site, which is rondilambeth.com, because they're me personally selling these courses. And then Fortress, of course, then promotes Fortress University and promotes the courses. But every single client that comes through Fortress Credit for credit repair will get access for free to Fortress University, where if you find it at rondilambeth.com, you're going to pay anywhere from $1,000 to $7,500 for the courses.
Wow. Geez. Okay. Well, awesome. I know that you're really busy. I don't want to take too much more of your time. I'm very grateful for you, coming on the show today. We'll get this pushed out. Guys, if you're looking to get credit repair, you're searching, maybe you've been drained by another company, I'm telling you, you got to check out Fortress. I endorse them. All of our clients, if you already signed up with them, they're legit. They are the real company. So reach out to Fortress, check out their university. Rondi, thank you so much for taking the time today. We're very grateful for you being on the show today.
Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I appreciate all the referrals and the trust that you send over.
Absolutely.
And again, if they want to follow me every single day, Angelo, I promote or post on social media credit hacks and credit tips. And so they can follow me anywhere on social media at Rondi Lambeth. That's RONDILAMBETH. It's Rondi Lambeth. You type in Rondi Lambeth credit, you're going to find me. I'm pretty easy to find online.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we follow you, and we love everything that you do. So thank you, guys. Please check him out on Instagram. You're on YouTube, Facebook. You can go to their website. All of their links will be in the YouTube description. You can check out everything about them. And if you need help, and you've applied with us for a loan, we're going to send you directly to their team. They have an awesome team there. They contact you within 24 hours. They get you signed up. They go over the plan with you. So please reach out. Guys, thank you so much for watching the show today, okay? All right. Take care, man. Thank you so much, Rondi.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.